Methods are similar to functions. Okay, so methods are very similar to functions. The biggest difference is that a method belongs to what we call an object or a variable or a thing. Methods belong to something. Okay, and that something, the generic term for a something in a programming language is typically an object. Specifically in Python, everything is an object. Variables are an object, numbers are an object, strings are an object. They're all just different types of objects, okay? So when we have a string, specifically, strings are a type of object that have special abilities. Think of them as superpowers. Strings can do specific things, and those specific things that a string can do are called methods. So they're like functions, but they're functions that only strings can do. Now, if you open up your PyCharm and type these 3 lines of code for me, that would be great. I'll give you a couple minutes to work on that. Remember, always at the beginning of class, first thing you want to do when you come in is make sure you have PyCharm open so you can code, because we're going to be doing a lot of coding in this class. And once you have those 3 lines of code typed in and you can run them, somebody, when you have a result from this, somebody let me know. Okay? So you ran that and something happened. What is the result of that 3 lines of code? What does it give you?
The result ends up putting the name. So, like me, I put Sean Bailey, so I end up putting Sean Bailey in there.
What's different about the name other than the original string?
Change the case. Oh, you have lowercase.
It changed the case. Specifically, everything in that string that was uppercase and has a lowercase equivalent, right? It became lowercase. Now, if I have punctuation, spaces, numbers, those don't have uppercase and lowercase variants, but letters do. So if I were to change this to the word upper, what do you suppose would happen then? Yes. It would make all of the letters uppercase. Exactly. Now that's just sort of something you can use your intuition to figure out and your logic, right? We haven't actually done it, but you can try it right now if you want. You can change it to upper, because lower and upper are both string methods. Now, I want you to add one more line of code below this. I want you to print the original variable. Print the original variable. So print str name right below that. And then run it again. Print str name and run it again. When you have a result, somebody tell me what it is. It prints it twice, and the first time it prints it all upper or lower, depending on whether you have upper or lower here. But the second time it prints it, what does it do? Nothing. It's the normal. So here's what I'm trying to get at here. We have strname dot lower. does lower actually do anything to this? No. Think of it this way, okay? If lower is like a superpower, right? Like Superman's laser eye beams. The OG Superman had those, by the way. I know the new one doesn't really like, he mostly just has the cold breath, I think. But anyway, Superman's laser eye beams. Superman doesn't use his laser eye beams on himself. He shoots them out, right? So this returns something. So this special ability, strname.lower, returns something that we then catch into this container, and then we print it out. But this doesn't change. Something good to remember. String methods don't change the original string. They're just a thing that the original string can do. So basically, when I say strname.lower, what I'm saying is, give me the lowercase version of that string, is all. So methods are like functions that belong to a string. So we're going to get into a lot of string methods. So we've got a string.upper. Now I'm using these in this way. I'm listing them with string.upper, string.lower, because I want you to remember that they are not functions. A Python function is not preceded by an object. If it was a Python function, all I would say is upper or lower or whatever. A Python native function doesn't require an object as its context. That's what we're doing here. Is we're saying we're doing lower, but string is the context. So string.upper, string.lower. What do you think string.swap case does? We'll skip one. We'll skip to that one. Swap case. Exactly. See, isn't that nice that Python uses just regular old English words so we can kind of see what's going on? I love that about it. String.replace. What do you suppose that does?
Replaces a certain character with another.
Exactly. And it's not just a character, it could be a set of characters, and you can replace it with another set of characters or a single character. Or in fact, you could replace it with nothing, which takes characters out. It just removes them. So that's kind of handy. Okay, so let's go back to this one. Strip. Careful here. This isn't anything inappropriate for class. Okay, so string.strip. Very, very useful. What string.strip does is it takes the characters, any white space character, and anytime you hear me say a white space character, think of characters that you can't see. You can see where they are, but you can't see them. So what's a great example of a white space character? Space. Can anybody think of any other white space characters? Characters that you can't see, but you can see the effect of. Yes, back? Sorry? Enter, it's called a carriage return or a line feed. Yes, or a line break. That's another one. A tab character. So all of those characters are white space characters. Now, why might you want to take the white space characters off the front and back of a string? Can anybody think of any reason? Let me share a real world example with you, because I bet you've had this happen to you before. Have you ever gotten one of those confirmation codes in text, or have your password typed somewhere and you want to copy and paste it into the password box just to save yourself a little time? And you're sure it's the right thing, so you copy and paste it and you enter the code or the password, and it comes back and it says, that didn't work. That's not the right password, but you're sure it's the right password. You have it right there in black and white. You saved it, you typed it out, or it was sent to you. What happened in that situation? Yes. There's a space before it or after it, and you accidentally copied that too, right? Have you ever had that happen to you? It's happened to me so many times I can't even count.